The knock shattered the quiet like a gunshot in the dead of night. I froze mid-sip of my lukewarm coffee, heart slamming against my ribs as if it knew before I did. When I yanked open the door, there he was, Jordan Hale, the boy who'd carved his initials into my soul a decade ago, now a face plastered on billboards, staring back at me with eyes that hadn't changed a bit. I blinked hard, convinced this was some cruel hallucination brought on by too many late shifts at the hardware store and not enough sleep. But no, it was him, flesh and blood, leaning against the doorframe of my creaky rental on Elm Street in Willow Creek, Ohio, the same town we'd both sworn to escape. His dark hair was shorter now, styled in that effortless way celebrities pulled off, and he wore a simple gray hoodie that did nothing to hide the broad shoulders fame had sculpted. A duffel bag slung over one arm, like he was just passing through. "Alex," he said, voice low and rough, the way it used to sound after we'd sneak out to the old quarry and whisper secrets under the stars. "Miss me?" I couldn't speak. 10 years. 10 years of radio silence after he boarded that Greyhound to LA, chasing auditions and dreams while I stayed behind, patching up shelves and pretending my heart wasn't a graveyard. We'd been 17, tangled in the back of his beat-up Chevy, convinced our love could outrun small-town bigotry. But it hadn't. He'd left with a promise to call, and I'd waited like a fool until the phone stayed silent. Now here he was, unannounced, unraveling me with a single crooked smile. "Jordan," I finally managed, my voice cracking like dry leaves. "What the hell are you doing here?" I stepped back, not inviting him in, but he took it as permission anyway, brushing past me with that easy grace that had always made my knees weak. The scent of him, pine and something expensive, like cologne from a red carpet afterparty, hit me like a wave, dragging up memories I'd buried deep. He dropped his bag by the couch, surveying my cramped living room with its mismatched furniture and the stack of unread novels on the coffee table. "Needed a break," he said, shrugging like it was the most normal thing in the world for a rising star to show up in Nowheresville, Ohio. "The city's eating me alive. Thought I'd come home. See the old places." His eyes flicked to mine, holding just a second too long. "See you. Home." The word twisted in my gut. Willow Creek wasn't home anymore. Not for him, anyway. It was a place that chewed up queers like us and spat out rumors. My parents had disowned me the day after graduation when a neighbor caught us kissing behind the bleachers. Jordan's folks? They shipped him off faster than you could say family values. I'd clawed my way to a quiet life here. Job at Harlan's Hardware. A couple of buddies at the local bar who didn't pry too much about my weekends alone. But Jordan? He'd exploded on his screens in that indie flick 3 years back, then the blockbuster rom-com that made him America's sweetheart. Gay roles, straight roles. He played them all with that magnetic charm, dating rumors swirling like smoke. And me? Just another ghost in his rear view. I crossed my arms, leaning against the kitchen counter to steady myself. You could have texted. Or called. Hell, a postcard from the Walk of Fame. Bitterness crept in, uninvited. It's been a decade, man. People move on. His smile faded, replaced by something raw, unguarded. The Jordan I remembered from stolen moments, not the polished version from magazine spreads. I know, and I'm sorry. Every day, Alex. But I didn't forget. Not for a second. He stepped closer, close enough that I could see the faint scar above his eyebrow from that dumb bike crash we'd laughed about. "Can we talk? Really talk?" I wanted to slam the door, to yell about the nights I'd scrolled his Instagram, heart aching at photos of him with co-stars who looked nothing like me. But instead, I nodded, gesturing to the sagging couch. "Coffee's cold. Want some fresh?" As I busied myself in the kitchen, measuring grounds with shaking hands, the weight of it all pressed down. Why now? Why me? Willow Creek was full of ghosts, but I was the one still haunting the living. We sat there for hours, the autumn rain pattering against the window like impatient fingers. Jordan talked first, words tumbling out in that halting way of his when he was nervous. The auditions that went nowhere at first, sleeping on casting couches, literal ones, not the scandal kind. The breakthrough role that came with a closet door he slammed shut to keep the gigs coming. "They love me now," he said, staring into his mug. "But it's all smoke. One wrong move, and poof. Back to square one." I listened, the old pull tugging at me. He'd always been the dreamer, the one who'd map out our escape on napkins at the diner. I'd been the anchor, the one who fixed things. And you think coming back fixes it? I asked, softer than I meant. Willow Creek's the same. My ma still crosses the street when she sees me. Your dad runs the feed store like nothing happened. He winced. Yeah, saw him on the way in. Pretended not to recognize me. A pause, heavy. But you're still here, holding it down. That's brave, Alex. Braver than any red carpet. Brave. The word hung between us, a fragile bridge. I told him about the years in between. The community college dropout, the string of dead-end jobs, the pride parade in Columbus where I'd marched alone, rainbow flag whipping in the wind like a flag of surrender. How I dated. A barista named Tim who ghosted after his folks found out. A mechanic from Dayton who couldn't handle the whispers. It's not living, I admitted, voice thick. It's surviving. Jordan reached across the coffee table, his hand brushing mine. Electric. Then let's survive together. Just for a bit. No pressure. Like old times. Old times. The phrase unlocked something in me, a flood of what-ifs. By midnight, the rain had stopped, and we'd migrated to the porch swing, beers from my fridge sweating in the cool air. Stars punched holes in the sky above the cornfields, same as always. He leaned his head on my shoulder, tentative, and I let him. I never stopped thinking about you, he murmured. Every roll, every line, I'd wonder what you'd say, what you'd fix with that laugh of yours. I turned, our faces inches apart, breaths mingling. The kiss was inevitable, soft at first, then deeper, tasting of regret and relief. But as his fingers threaded through my hair, a car horn blared from the street. Tommy Reyes, my shift buddy at the store, pulling up for our usual late-night bullshit session. Lights swept the porch, freezing us like statues. Shit, Jordan hissed, pulling back. Tommy killed the engine, door creaking open. Hey, Alex. Brought the six-pack, oh. Tommy's eyes widened, flicking between us. Willow Creek's grapevine was faster than fiber optic. By morning, the whole town would know. I stood, heart racing. It's not. But Jordan was already grabbing his bag, that celebrity mask slipping back on. I'll call you tomorrow. Promise. He slipped around the side of the house, vanishing into the shadows like he'd never been there. Tommy clapped me on the back, oblivious or pretending. New friend? Looks familiar. Yeah, I lied, forcing a grin. Just passing through. But as I waved him inside, the porch swing creaked empty, and I wondered if Jordan's promises were as fleeting as the stars. The next morning hit like a hangover, without the fun, coffee bitter on my tongue, the hardware store buzzing with its usual symphony of hammers on nails, and old men griping about the weather. I stocked lumber in aisle 3, replaying the night in loops. The knock, the kiss, the getaway. Tommy hadn't said a word about it, but his sideways glances said plenty. In Willow Creek, secrets were currency, and I'd just minted a fresh one. By noon, the whispers started. Mrs. Hargrove at the register leaned over to her bridge partner. Heard Alex had a visitor last night. Some hotshot from Hollywood. Laughter tinkled like breaking glass. I kept my head down, sawing a 2x4 with more force than necessary, splinters flying like accusations. My phone buzzed in my pocket, unknown number. Heart leaping, I ducked into the storage room, answering on the third ring. Alex? It's me. Jordan's voice, hushed, like he was calling from a war zone. Sorry about the vanishing act. Paparazzi tailing me even here. Met up with my agent at the motel. Had to shake him. Relief mixed with irritation. So you're what? Slumming it incognito? Tommy saw you. Town's gonna eat it up. A pause, then a sigh. I know. But screw him. Meet me at the quarry after shift? Like old times. No interruptions. The quarry. Our spot. The abandoned pit where we'd skip rocks and dream of cities that didn't judge. Yeah, I said, before doubt could choke me. 6 sharp. Shift dragged, every tick of the clock a taunt. When the bell jingled at 5, I bolted, nodding to Harlan, my boss, a gruff vet who tolerated my lifestyle, as long as sales didn't dip. The drive out of town was a blur of golden fields turning amber in the fading light. Radio crooning some country ballad about lost love that hit too close. I parked at the trailhead, gravel crunching under tires, and hiked the familiar path. The air smelled of damp earth and pine, the sun dipping low, painting the water below in strokes of fire. He was there, skipping stones with that boyish focus, shirt sleeves rolled up, revealing the tattoo he'd gotten in L.A. A compass rose on his forearm, needle pointing true north. Toward home? Or away? 10 years, and you still can't get past 5 skips. I called, grinning despite myself. He turned, lighting up like the quarry was his stage. Lies. Watch this. The stone danced 6 times, plopping triumphantly. He dusted his hands, closing the distance. Missed this. Missed you bantering my ass. We walked the rim, feet kicking pebbles, words flowing easier in the open air. He confessed the loneliness of fame. Award shows where smiles were scripts, hookups that felt like auditions. I came out last year, he said casually, tossing a rock into the void. In that Variety interview. Thought it'd free me. Instead, it's like wearing a target. Fans love it, studios. Not so much. I stopped, wind whipping my hair. You what? I mean, congrats, but why didn't you tell me? I had to read about it in the break room tabloid, like some stranger. His face crumpled. I tried. Mailed letters, deleted emails. Figured you'd moved on, found someone solid. Not chained to this dump. Chained. The word stung. Willow Creek wasn't a chain. It was roots, tangled and deep. Some of us build lives here, Jordan. Not everyone runs. He flinched, eyes stormy. Running? I was surviving. You think it was easy leaving you? Waking up every day knowing I broke us. The argument ignited fast, words like flint on steel. I accused him of selfishness, of chasing spotlights over substance. He fired back about my stubbornness, how I'd never left because fear won. The sun sank, shadows lengthening, until we were shouting echoes across the water. Fine, I yelled, turning back toward the path. Go back to your premieres. Leave again. It's what you do best. Alex, wait. His hand caught my wrist, pulling me around. We were chest to chest, breaths ragged, faces flushed. Time suspended, the world narrowing to his hazel eyes, flecked with gold like quarry flecks. Then he kissed me, fierce, desperate, pouring years of unspoken ache into it. I kissed back, hands fisting his shirt, the fight dissolving into something hotter, needier. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together. I'm not leaving, he whispered. Not this time. Stay with me tonight. I nodded, the fight's embers still smoldering but banked by want. We drove to my place in silence, his hand on my thigh the whole way, an anchor in the gathering dusk. Inside, it was tentative, shared glances over takeout pizza, laughter bubbling up like we'd never parted. We ended up on the couch, his head in my lap, my fingers carding through his hair as he talked about scripts unread, roles that didn't fit. Want something real, he murmured, eyes drifting shut. Like this. Sleep came slow, his body curled against mine on the too-small bed, warmth seeping into bones I'd forgotten could thaw. But as dawn crept in, my phone lit up, text from Tommy. Dude, Towns talking. Jordan Hale? For real? Careful, man. Careful. The word echoed like a warning bell. Monday morning brought the storm. Not rain, but the kind that brews in church basements and diner booths. I clocked in at Harlan's, apron tied tight, but the air hummed with eyes on me. Customers lingered longer than usual, murmuring behind hands, their gazes sliding off like oil. By lunch, it hit critical. Reverend Ellis's wife, prim in her pearls, set a bag of nails on the counter with deliberate slowness. Heard you had company this weekend, Alexander. A man of notoriety. Willow Creek values its morals, you know. Harlan, wiping down the register, cleared his throat. Ma'am, that'll be $4.75. But she paid in exact change, lips pursed, and left with a scent trail of judgment. I retreated to the break room, splashing water on my face, staring at the cracked mirror. 27 years old, lines etching my eyes from squinting at receipts, and now this. A celebrity scandal crashing my quiet limbo. Jordan had texted at sunrise. Coffee run? Quarry at noon? I'd replied with a thumbs up, but doubt not. Was this a vacation fling for him? A nostalgic pit stop before jetting back to validation? The bell jingled. Tommy, bearing sandwiches from the deli. Bro, you're viral. He shoved his phone at me. A blurry photo from the porch. Jordan's profile unmistakable. Captioned Hollywood heartthrob slumming it in WC. Spill the tea. Willow Creek gossip. Local Facebook group. Already 200 shares. Shit. I sank onto a stool, appetite fleeing. How'd it get out so fast? Tommy shrugged, unwrapping his turkey club. Small town, big mouths. My cousin's kids saw you too at the quarry trailhead. Kids these days, phones glued to hands. He chewed thoughtfully. Look, Jordan Hale's hot as hell, but you sure about this? Guy like that, he's got options. LA models, not hardware hacks. His words landed like punches, soft but bruising. Tommy meant well. Our friendship forged in high school shop class. Him the straight-laced jock who'd punched a bully for slinging slurs my way. But hearing it aloud twisted the knife. It's not like that, I said, defensive. We're figuring it out. He nodded, but his eyes said pity. Just watch your back. Town's got long memories. The afternoon blurred, fetching paint swatches, advising on fence posts, all while my mind wandered to Jordan's laugh lines, the way his thumb traced circles on my palm last night. At noon, I slipped out, driving to the quarry with windows down, wind whipping doubts away. He was waiting on a boulder, thermos in hand, looking every bit the movie star in jeans and a thermal that hugged his frame. Black, 2 sugars, right? He handed me a mug, steam curling like secrets. Perfect, I sipped, settling beside him, our shoulders brushing. The water below sparkled, indifferent to our mess. Town's on fire. Your face is everywhere. He groaned, rubbing his neck. Saw the post. Agents blowing up my phone. Lay low, Jordan, image is everything. As if I give a damn. He turned, earnest. This is real, Alex. You and me. I want to build on it. Hope flickered, fragile. We talked dreams then. Mine of opening a custom woodworking shop, his of producing stories that mattered, queer narratives without the tragedy porn. No more hiding, he said, fierce. We deserve the spotlight. But as we kissed, slow and sweet under the pines, tires crunched on gravel. A pickup idled at the trailhead, Jordan's dad, Harlan Hale Sr., grizzled in his feed cap, staring daggers. Jordan stiffened, pulling back. Dad. What? Get in the truck, boy. The voice boomed, laced with that old venom. We got family business. Now. I stood, invisible as air, but Mr. Hale's eyes raked me. Recognition dawning, disgust curling his lip. You. Spit flu. Still poisoning my son? Dad, stop. Jordan stepped forward, shielding me. But the old man advanced, finger jabbing. I gave you everything. Roof, name, and you repay with this. Filth. Hollywood turned you soft, but I won't let it drag us down. He grabbed Jordan's arm, yanking. Home. Now. Jordan wrenched free, face pale. I'm not a kid anymore. And Alex isn't filth. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. The slap echoed, open-palmed, shocking us both. Mr. Hale's handprint bloomed red on Jordan's cheek. Ungrateful. After all, Enough. Jordan's voice broke, raw. He looked at me, eyes pleading. Alex, Go. I said, throat tight. Handle it. I'll be here. He nodded, climbing into the truck without another word, taillights fading down the dirt road. I sank back to the boulder, the coffee gone cold, the quarry's silence mocking me. Family. The unbreakable chain. That evening, alone in my kitchen, pasta boiling over on the stove, my phone rang, unknown again. Not Jordan. A clipped voice. Mr. Whitaker? This is Vanessa from Hale Publicity. Mr. Hale requests you cease contact. Legal action if necessary. Fame's a fragile thing. Click. The line died, leaving me in the hiss of steam and the echo of what-ifs. The call from the publicist lingered like smoke, acrid and clinging. I turned off the burner, pasta forgotten, and paced the linoleum until my feet ached. Legal action? For what? A kiss in the daylight. It felt absurd, Hollywood's long arm stretching to squash a small-town spark. But absurdity didn't dull the hurt. Jordan, silenced again by the machine that built him. I crashed on the couch, scrolling news on my phone. Headlines about his latest film, co-starring some ingenue with perfect teeth and rumors of an on-set romance. Lies, probably, but in Willow Creek, truth was optional. By 10, exhaustion won, dreams fractured, quarry water rising to drown us, his father's slap rippling like waves. Morning came gray, fog blanketing the fields. Harlan pulled me aside at opening, his mustache twitching. Heard about the ruckus. You okay, son? Yeah. Lie. Just family drama. He grunted, clapping my shoulder. Families are hell. But you got us. Us. The store, the town misfits who pretended not to care. It warmed, a little. Shift passed in a haze, until quitting time brought a surprise. Tommy at the door, holding keys to his sister's empty cabin upstate. Getaway, he said, tossing them. 2 days. Clear your head. Jordan or no, you look like shit. Gratitude choked me. Thanks, man. Oh, you. The drive north was therapy. Highway unspooling through woods turning crimson. Radio switched to podcasts about resilience. Voices reminding me I wasn't alone. The cabin perched on a lake, rustic logs, and a porch swing that didn't creak. I unpacked minimal. Jeans, a journal I hadn't touched in years, and a six-pack for the fire pit. First night, flames crackling. I wrote. Pages spilling doubts. Angers, the ache of loving someone who'd learned to perform pain. Jordan's face danced in the firelight, imagined. By midnight, buzzed and bold, I texted his number. Cabin by the lake. If you can, come. No strings. Sent. Deleted the thread after, heart hammering. Dawn brought loons calling, mist rising off water like ghosts. I fished, line plunking soft, mind wandering to high school, locker room taunts we'd dodged, the first time he'd said, I love you behind the gym, voice trembling. We'd planned a life, apartment in Chicago, me building furniture, him acting in community theater. Fame had rewritten the script. Afternoon sun burned off the fog when tires crunched. Not Tommy's truck, but a rental sedan, sleek and out of place. Jordan emerged, sunglasses perched on head, duffel in hand. Vanessa's on a plane back to LA, told her to shove it. I stood, rod forgotten. You came. Always will. He crossed the grass in strides, pulling me into a hug that crushed air from lungs. We held on, lake lapping gentle, until he pulled back, thumb brushing my cheek. I'm done hiding. Dad's pissed, cut me off, the works. But screw the inheritance. I choose this. Us. Relief flooded, but caution lingered. And the town? The glare. Let him glare. His grin, defiant. We'll face it together. We spent the days unhurried. Kayaking at dawn, him terrible at paddling, laughter echoing. Evenings cooking over open flame, stories swapping like kindling. He opened up about the closet's toll, roles that tokenized, dates staged for cameras. Felt like betraying you every time, he admitted, stars wheeling overhead. You were my true north. I shared scars too. The isolation, the therapy sessions in Columbus I couldn't afford long-term, the fear that love meant loss. You're the one who got away, I whispered one night, tangled in blankets on the porch. Thought I'd never forgive you. Forgive. He propped on elbow, moonlight silvering his skin. I forgive you for staying strong without me. The kiss that followed was a seal, promise woven in touch. No rush, just presence. Hands mapping familiar paths, breaths sinking like heartbeats. But paradise cracked on day 2. My phone, left charging inside, exploded with voicemails. Tommy first. Alex, turn on the news. Jordan's dad's talking to reporters. Bad. Then a local number. Reverend Ellis. Your influence is corrupting our youth. Leave before it's too late. Jordan's face drained when I played it. Dad, what the? We tuned the old TV. Oppressor outside the feed store. Mr. Hale red-faced, Bible in hand. My boy's been brainwashed by that lifestyle. Hollywood's poison, and that Whitaker boy's the needle. We're fighting back, for values, for family. Cuts to interviews, townsfolk nodding, disgraceful. Mrs. Hargrove. Always knew Alex was trouble. My stomach roiled, betrayal from ghosts I'd ignored. Jordan paced, fury coiling. I'll go down there, set it straight. No. I grabbed his arm. That's what he wants, more fodder. We fight smart. We drove back that night, resolve hardening like lake ice. Willow Creek loomed, lights twinkling innocent, but the air crackled with war. Pulling into town felt like crossing into enemy lines, streetlights casting long shadows, every porch light a potential spotlight. Jordan's rental trailed my truck, a silver bullet in the mundane lineup of F-150s. We parked at my place, windows dark, but the note on the door fluttered like a flag of surrender. Eviction notice. Lease violation, disturbance. Vacate by week's end. Management. My hands shook unlocking the door. Inside, chaos. Drawers yanked, photos scattered. One of us from senior prom, fake dates, but real smiles, cracked in the corner. They searched it, I breathed. Who? Jordan knelt, riding a lamp. Dad's got pull. Old man Jenkins manages properties, goes to his church. Rage simmered in his eyes. This ends now. We bunked at Tommy's that night. Couch for me, guest room for Jordan. Tommy's wife, Lena, a no-nonsense nurse with tattoos peeking from scrubs, hugged me fierce. Stay as long as. We're family, idiota. Gratitude swelled, but sleep evaded. Jordan slipped into the living room at 3 a.m., blanket trailing. Can't shut it off, he muttered, curling beside me. The noise in my head. We talked whispers, plans to lawyer up, me crashing with Tommy till sorted, him selling the rental for quick cash, screw the publicist's advice. We'll leave, he said, fingers lacing mine. Chicago. Start fresh. But Willow, the protest died. Roots could regrow. Dawn brought allies. Tommy rallied the misfits. Sarah from the diner, out and proud with her wife Mia. Old Mr. Petrovich, the Russian immigrant who'd fixed clocks and clocks worth of gossip. We met at the back booth of the Rusty Nail, coffee steaming, voices low. Reverend's calling an emergency town hall, Sarah said, scrolling her phone. Tomorrow. Preserving our way of life. Translation, bash the gays. Lena snorted. Let him. We'll counter. Pride flags on every lawn. Jordan shifted, uneasy. I don't want to make it worse for you all. One tweet from me, and it's national. Protests, cameras. Petrovich, pipe clenched in teeth, waved it off. Pa. In Mother Russia, we had worse. Here, fight with light. Show them love, not hate. The plan coalesced. Attend the hall, speak truth. No yelling, stories. My stomach knotted. Public speaking a nightmare since that botched toast at Lena's wedding. But Jordan's hand under the table steadied me. We've got this. Afternoon, we hit City Hall early, air thick with cologne and crossed arms. Banners read family first. Reverend Ellis, paunch straining his vest, thumped the podium. Our town built on God-fearing values. Now outsiders, Hollywood filth, local deviants, threaten our children. Murmurs swelled, nods from the back. Mr. Hale stood, Jordan shrinking beside me. My own flesh, the old man boomed, seduced away. We must stand firm. Claps erupted. Then Sarah rose, steady. Firm? Or fearful? Mia and I raised 2 kids here, straight A's, soccer stars. No threat, just taxes and potlucks. Heckles rippled, but she pressed. Love's not contagious, Reverend. Hate is. Emboldened, Mia followed. Tales of hospital visits denied, glances averted. Petrovich grumbled about gulags, drawing uneasy laughs. Then Jordan, spotlights catching his face, turning him mythic. I'm not your enemy, he said, voice carrying. I grew up here, same pews, same fields. Left chasing dreams, but the dream was always acceptance. Alex taught me that, showed me love's worth fighting for, not against. Eyes on us, whispers shifting. My turn. Legs jelly, I stood. I stayed because this is home. Fixed shelves, mowed lawns, tried to belong. But belonging shouldn't cost your soul. Voice cracking, I met Mr. Hale's glare. We don't poison. We heal, if you'll let us. Silence, thick. Then a hand raised. Lena's cousin, a burly farmer. Boy's right. My brother's gay, best damn vet we got. Town's stronger with him. Applause, scattered at first, building. Reverend blustered. But the tide turned. Questions turning curious, not cruel. After, outside under street lamps, Jordan pulled me close. You were incredible. We were. But victory soured quick. Mr. Hale stormed up, face thunder. You think speeches fix this? You're dead to me, Jordan. And you. To me, venom. Stay away, or regret it. He shoved past, but Jordan called after. Dad, wait. I love you. But I love him too. Choose. The old man paused, shoulders slumping, then walked into night without looking back. We drove home. To Tommy's, for now, silence heavy. He'll come around, Jordan said, uncertain. Or not. I squeezed his hand. But we've got each other. That night, tangled in borrowed sheets, his whispers chased shadows. Promises of apartments with views, mornings without hiding. Hope, tentative, bloomed. Weeks blurred into a fragile normalcy. Tommy's couch became our fort, laughter echoing off walls as we plotted escapes over microwave dinners. Jordan's agent fired him via email, a curt mutual parting. Best of luck, but he shrugged it off, diving into scriptwriting on my old laptop, fingers flying with stories of boys like us. I job hunted online, woodworking gigs in Columbus winking like possibilities. Town simmered, not boiled. The hall's ripples lingered, a rainbow sticker on the diner's window, Sarah's wife invited to book club. But undercurrents pulled, glances in aisles, my eviction dragging in court, pro bono from Mia's firm. And Mr. Hale? A ghost, feed store visits tense with unspoken wars. One crisp November eve, Jordan knocked on Tommy's door, literally, home from a secretive errand, eyes bright. Come on, got a surprise. We drove out of town, his hand warm on the gearshift, radio humming indie folk about roads untaken. The quarry loomed, moon full and silvering the water. But no, past it, to the old Hale homestead, for sale sign crooked in the yard. Wait here. He vanished inside, returning with keys jangling. Bought it. Cash from the car sale. Our fresh start, right under their noses. I gaped, touring rooms echoing with memory. Kitchen where we'd stolen cookies. Attic where we'd hidden comics. Jordan, it's huge. And your dad. Signed over cheap. Broker said he wanted out fast. A shrug, but pain flickered. Maybe a peace offering. Or spite. Doesn't matter. It's ours. We claimed the master that night. Bed frame dusty, but sheets aired crisp. Moonlight pooled on floors as we moved slow, rediscovering in the space we'd once dreamed of. Home. He breathed against my skin, and I believed it. Morning brought coffee on the porch swing, repaired by my hands, sanded smooth. But idle shattered at 10. A knock, hesitant. Mr. Hale on the step, hat in hands, face etched deeper than years warranted. Jordan. Voice gruff, eyes down. Need to talk. Jordan tensed beside me, but nodded. Kitchen. Alex stays. We sat at the scarred oak table, steam rising like barriers. The old man fidgeted, words scraping out. Pastor made me see. Maybe I pushed too hard. A cough. Lost your ma young. Didn't want to lose you too. But this. Gesture vague, encompassing us. It's not what I pictured. Jordan leaned forward. It wasn't mine either. But it's real. And right. Silence stretched, broken by a sigh. Saw the town hall clip. You spoke good. Like your ma. Eyes lifted, meeting mine for the first time without daggers. Sorry, boy. For the hurt. Not forgiveness, yet. But a crack. Appreciate it, sir. My voice steady. He stood, nodding. Fix the place up. Belong to her folks. Make it yours. At the door, pause. Dinner Sunday? If you want. Jordan walked him out, returning with shoulders lighter. He'll come around. Slow, but... yeah. I pulled him close, foreheads touching. We've got time. The months unfolded like pages. Renovations with Tommy's hammer swings and Lena's paint swatches. Jordan's script landing in indie producer. Queer leads, no compromises. I opened Whitaker Woodworks in the garage. First commission a pride float for Columbus. Town thawed gradual. Reverend's sermons softened. Mr. Hale at Sunday pot roast. Carving turkey awkward but present. One spring dawn, quarryside picnic. Blanket spread, basket unpacked. We toasted with cheap sparkling cider. To us, Jordan said, clinking glasses. The plot twist nobody saw coming. I laughed, pulling him down. Best kind. As sun climbed, warming stones, I knew. We'd rewritten the ending. Not perfect, but ours. Love forged in fire, unbreakable.